Hey guys, welcome back. This is your old pal CHH. You're listening or watching Planet CHH. Now, if you remember the last episode we just did, we looked at a lot of 80s and 90s horror movie video store standees. Now, those things are so cool, and it was a time long forgotten now, but when they used to have to really promote their movies, because back in the day, budget was important, but it was all about the cover art for the VHS and how quick you can grab somebody's attention walking down that VHS shelf. So those standees were a way to get you before you even got to the shelves. And they'd be life-size. They'd send them out to video stores. They'd send them out to, mom and pop shops. And it was like going to a museum. Could you imagine going to a time machine now and going back into the 80s to like 88 and going to a video store? We would all just be in awe. Our jaws would hit the floor. We'd be asking to buy everything. But it didn't just stop at video store standees. No, there were props. There were things that were sent to the stores to garner more attention. When you walked up to the counter to ask about a new movie, maybe you're like, hey, what's the newest Friday the 13th you have? There may be something on the table to promote that movie. And I'm not talking about a cardboard standee. I'm talking about a physical thing. Some of these companies that were home video companies really took advantage of this. Again, this was a way for them to be able to put themselves on the same pedestal as those big companies. Companies like Vestron Video would do things that were unprecedented. They would get your attention so fast in the video store back in the day, it was incredible. I've done a lot of research on this. I've talked to a lot of people that lived it. I've actually talked to people that had video stores back in the day and what it was like, and it just seems like it was the wild, wild west. So today what I want to do is look back in the past at some video store movie props and also stuff from the movie theaters that you could have gotten as promotion for the movies. So let's look at a cool list of stuff we have, and there's something special that I want to talk to you guys about closer to the end, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let's look at some really cool 80s and 90s horror movie video store props. The first things first, guys, I want to show you what my holy grail is. I guess it's made out of some kind of porcelain glass, but it's the Lorimar Pictures Return of the Living Dead Part 2, tabletop, promotional tornado thing. I've known about this for a long time, and it's something I've longed to get my hands on. They are available online, but they do go for quite a lot of money, and I don't know anybody personally that owns one, but if for some reason somebody out there has one that they're willing to sell at a reasonable price, for God's sakes, please reach out to me. Next up, guys, is this really wicked cool Friday the 13th Part 6 machete around the neck kind of fun thing. I guess this was something that maybe store clerks would put around their neck when they were asking people, hey, do you need help finding anything? We just got Friday the 13th Part 6 in. Paramount was awesome then, and Paramount is awesome now, I swear. We're going to stick with Paramount and Friday the 13th again, one of the most iconic pieces of video store history, the beloved Friday the 13th Part 5 A New Beginning countertop lamp. This is something that is sought after by Friday the 13th fans over, including myself. I even made a makeshift version, but they are out there, but this one is legendary. Again, we gotta stick with Paramount and Friday the 13th. I swear, guys, I'm not trying to just do this. Paramount was great. Here's more promotional stuff for Jason Lives. A cool machete and hockey mask you might see hanging from the roof or the back wall of the store. Sure enough to grab your attention to grab that new release of Jason Lives. Okay, one more, I promise. But look at this. A Friday the 13th inflatable jack-o'-lantern promoting the movies on VHS. Oh man, could you imagine seeing this back in the day? I would have been going to jail because I would have been trying to steal all this stuff. Media home entertainment would be no slouch either, guys. Here is a wall display promoting A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 Dream Warriors on home video. This thing's really cool. Now, I've never seen anybody have this one, but the next one I actually have a friend that has it. The Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 version. Yeah, that thing is so cool. I wish companies would just kind of somehow get the license to re-put out some of this stuff. I'd settle for a reissued version. Next up, guys, we have the legendary air blow-up Ghoulies 2 Ghoulies toilet display. This thing would hang from the ceilings in video stores, and it speaks for itself. What a beautiful way to represent a film. I love it. But Vestron didn't slouch up for the first Ghoulies. Here's a Ghoulies hand puppet. I guess you would put your hand in this thing and move it around. Not too crazy cool, but it is still something I'd love to own. But they also made an inflatable for part 1, and I don't know what it is about it, but I think I like the inflatable more for part 1 than the part 2. Something about this one's just really, really charming. I love it. A prop loved the world over is the countertop Demons 2 TV. This thing is insane, and all the horror fans are dying to own it. I don't know anybody personally that has this, but if you're watching this and you own it, consider yourself very lucky. Now here's something really wild Paramount did. Earl the Dead Cat in promotion for Pet Sematary. Yeah, this thing is crazy. The movie exchange video stores with permission from Paramount gave away Earl when he was purchased, wait for it, with the VHS tape. Does anybody have this out there? Now this is something I'd never laid my eyes on before, but it's some sort of reanimator countertop display piece. Pretty cool. Not the coolest thing we're going to see in this video, but I don't know. Something I would definitely pop if I got to see in real life, I'm sure, being a big fan of the film. Now everybody loves street trash, and Vestron Video made what looks to be like some kind of porcelain countertop trash can, or is it even a mug? The information was somewhat scarce, but I can tell you this. That's a prized possession in any horror collection. Now this is cool. Brain damage, an actual brain that you would see on the countertop at a video store. This is from Paramount. Those guys just knew how to promote movies. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Does anybody have the brain out there? I'd love that. Now in promotion of Seed of Chucky, they did something unprecedented. They had Seed of Chucky condoms promoting the release of the movie in theaters soon, and what you're looking at is some kind of foam sperm that says Seed of Chucky on it. Don Mancini, you're a wild son of a gun. New World Pictures made a blow-up inflatable The Stuff bucket in cool pink and purple colors. Yeah, The Stuff is a legendary film, and I'm glad to see that it did get its fair share of promotional stuff in the video store back in the day. Now guys, here is looks like a pumpkin display piece for a movie called The Borrower. Now this came out in the early 90s, and it's a really fun little horror film. Scream Factory actually put it out on Blu-ray, and it should still be available. You should go pick that one up. It's a fun movie. But that's some cool promotional artwork right there. Here are some Freddy's Dead 3D glasses that you could have gotten from the movie theater. Now these still have all the pull tabs to get a coupon for some Bark soda cheap. I have a pair of 3D glasses, but it's the ones that came with the Laserdisc. No Barks on those. Now here's a Mark of the Devil vomit bag that was giving out at movie theaters, and it looks like it was an homage to the old The Exorcist vomit bags. Appreciate my buddy Garrett for sending me this. That's his, by the way. Now guys, this is something I hadn't ever seen before, and I just thought this was super cool. Garrett said he got this at the movie theater for the movie Insidious 2. If you'll look at the bottom of the lantern, you'll see it on there. That is so cool. Now guys, before we go, I was talking to my buddy Garrett about something. He said, Christian, there was this Elm Street prop I remember seeing as a kid. Unfortunately, I've never been able to see it online, but I know I saw this. So what you guys are about to listen to is Garrett talk about something he saw at the video store in hopes that maybe somebody watching this can remember what this is. And if you do, please drop a comment below. And if for some reason you might own this, please email me. Go to my business email and send me the picture of this thing because I need to see it. But let's listen to what he has to say.
What's up, everybody? Garrett here from Born to Be Rad. I have this vivid memory of being in a video store. Actually, we were outside a video store, and I looked in the window. It was a place called Major Video, which was our, main video store around my area, which then later turned into Blockbuster. But I remember seeing a cardboard, like a standee. It was Freddy Krueger, and he had two arms that were super stretched out, like in part one. And he was hung from, like, the ceiling, I felt like his arms had wires on them, like fishing line, like holding him in the air. And he was just up above everything. And I wasn't in the store, but we were looking in the window, and I said to my parents, who is that? Who's that guy that's hung up there? And my mom said, that's Freddy Fingernails. And at the time, I didn't know who Freddy Krueger was, but that's what she called him. And for the longest time as a kid, I assumed that was his name. Or maybe they called him that in the movie, which obviously later I know now that it's just Freddy Krueger. But I've searched high and low for that thing. I've asked around about that standee, and nobody knows anything about it Let me know if you guys do.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Some of that stuff was so cool, like the brain or the ghoulie blow-up things that would hang out from the roofs. They're so amazing. There's some of them are available on eBay, but the prices are getting higher and higher. My dream item is to have that Return of the Living Dead 2 tornado porcelain Lorimar thing. I've always wanted that, and I don't know, maybe one day, maybe one day. But guys, I love going in the past and looking at this cool stuff. Let me know what your favorite pieces that you saw, and if there was one that I haven't shown that you remember, please drop it down below so, quite frankly, I can go online and look it up. I love you guys, thanks for watching, and keep those old video store memories alive. Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.